guys, thanks for watching. So this is my first quadraphonic stereo system or hi-fi system, whatever you want to call it. But this is a quad channel receiver. Most people think of multi-channel audio coming from roughly the 90s, started getting big after Star Wars was a big hit. But in reality, quadraphonic systems were around since the 70s. And this is a fantastic example of one of them. This was kind of one of the middle models, if you will, in the Sansui lineup. It's the QRX5500. It's in great shape now. I took some time to clean the thing up, do some electronics repairs on it, change out all the light bulbs to brand new bulbs. I didn't go with LED bulbs on this particular receiver because I just couldn't get the color right on the faceplate. So I went with standard incandescent bulbs on this one. So it's not in perfect shape, but it's in really good condition overall. And I'll show you a few close-ups of what I mean on the case. I did completely strip this down and re-lacquer it. I did a hand rub lacquer finish, so it's got a nice finish to it. Still retains a lot of the patina that it's. So I want to go through just a few of the controls and features of this thing. Okay, so moving over to the front panel controllers, you've got bass and treble for both the front and the rears on each individual channel. So you can tailor that exactly to the room or to the speakers that you might be using. Maybe you've got different speakers in the front versus the back, that sort of thing. So that makes a lot of sense for this model. So you've got your speaker speaker selector here. You've got, interestingly, front and rear headphones output. You've got front low and high, rear low and high selectors. Then you've got your balance control. So you can balance front to back. This is the main balance, so left to right. And then this is your rear selector as well. So you've got a lot of control on how the sound moves around between the speakers. Main volume control, not too exciting. We've got regular 2-channel that we can select here. We've got, now you'll notice here, these come out when you're in 2-channel mode. They come back in 4-channel mode. So then you've got Hall, Surround, QS Synthesize, or Hall, Surround, and then QS Regular Matrix, Surround, and Hall. Then you've got Phase Matrix. You've got Discrete. So if you've got, let's say, a tape deck in your system that's got 4 channels, and it's got 4 channels out that you can plug into to this box, you'd be all set. So pretty nice settings there. Then you've got this direction mode switch. So you can switch, let's say you've got your speaker set up in the front here and then the back, and you want to, for some reason, want to switch them but don't want to move this physical speakers. You can actually switch this and the channels will move around the speakers. So let's say you wanted to have the front speakers over here for one song and the front speakers over here for another song. You could do that with this switch. I could see that coming in handy for folks that don't want to move speakers around but kind of want to try different things, right? Okay, so our input selector here. We've got 2 phono inputs on this that you can use. FM auto, and FM mono are all selections for this receiver. You've also got AM, auxiliary 1 and 2. So you've got a lot of inputs for this box. Interestingly, I've never seen this on a receiver before, but you've got a mic input right here with a level control. So if you wanted to sing along with somebody, you could do it. Kind of interesting. Okay, so moving up here, this is a level control, and this level control adjusts the gain of the preamp, which is a nice feature. Sometimes you've got mismatches between CD players and tape players and whatever other inputs you might have. It's easily adjustable right here. This also will adjust these meters. Obviously, when you adjust the gain, these are dB meters. These are not power meters for the amplifiers. So this can be adjusted out so that you can have a good match between the components you've purchased. And if you need to change those settings, you can do it on the fly. All right, so moving over here, we've got our general overall loudness button. Works really well. I use it on this receiver. I like the sound of it. You've got a 2-channel tape input. Then you've got your 4-channel 1 tape input, 4-channel 2 tape input. So you've got 2 4-channel inputs for this. And of course, if you're doing that, you're going to want it in one of these functions over here, maybe even the discrete function. So pretty interesting setup there. You've got FM muting here. It works quite well. This is obviously the tuning button. Okay, so here we are on the back side of the QRX5500 Sansui receiver. Some of the things I really like about this design is that it's got the heat sinks on the back side, outside of the box, so they're very easy to clean off. They're obviously going to vent very well off the back of the machine rather than inside the machine where all the sensitive electronics are, right? So I think they did a great design there. A lot of the Sansui receivers did use that design in this era. So that was pretty cool. It's got a little pull-out antenna. You've got regular antenna connections here. 300 ohm, 75 ohm, and an AM connector, right? For 2-channel, okay, you've got tape 1, phono 2, phono 1 right here. A lot of inputs, all right? So you've got auxiliary 1, 2, they've got tape, record and play, tape 2, record and play, and then up here you've got the other 2 channels, right? Auxiliary 1 and 2 inputs, tape 1 and 2, record and play, tape 2, record and play. So they also have this remote controller, which I disconnected because it was causing some real problems with the audio. It had deteriorated inside bad enough that the pins were actually coming apart and they weren't working properly. There was a lot of connection problems inside. So I bypassed that completely on this model so that this doesn't give the or have the opportunity to mess the audio up. Okay, so also on the back panel you've got your speakers, well, your speaker A system front and back, speaker B system front and back. So depending on how you've got this hooked up, you could have up to 8 speakers set up with this. Now you couldn't run them all at one time because that would overload the amp. But actually that's not true. If you had all 8 ohm speakers, you could run them all at the one time. But I don't see that too many people would probably do that. I'm just guessing there. Of course, you've got some fusing back in behind this panel, and you've got some nice electrical outputs right here. Your main fuse is right here, right? So that's the back panel. You've got a ground binding post right here for phono 1, and then the second one is over on the other side for phono 2. So I can kind of see where quadraphonic maybe was intimidating for a lot of folks, and maybe they didn't really see the value. You had a lot of quadraphonic, different quadraphonic competing formats. So I can see why quad died an ugly death back in the 70s. But I got to tell you, this is a really neat unit. And if you use it right, I think you would get a lot of great use out of this. And again, it sounds fantastic. So thanks for watching.